Okay, hello teacher and hello everyone watching the video. I am Kampong and I'm a teacher at Praipno High School. Today I gonna do a presentation on neuron. In this topic, we are going to focus on what is a neuron, the structure and function of the neuron. By the end of this topic, students will be able to define neuron, describe main parts and function of a neuron, understand how signal travel along neuron, and students will also learn some keywords. They are neuron, cell body, dendrite, axons, and nerve impulse. Okay, so let's start.
What is a neuron? We have already learned that our body is made up of about 11 organ systems, including the nervous system. Our nervous system is made up of the brain, the spinal cord, and all nerves. The smallest structural and functional unit of our nervous system is the neurons. So what is a neuron? Right? Neuron is it is the nerve cells, and it is function to conduct information or nerve impulse throughout the nervous system. It is the fundamental unit of our nervous system. So neurons are the basic structural and functional unit of the nervous system. It made up our nervous system and it carry information throughout the nervous system or to the brain to let the brain process the information. But what are parts of a neuron? So let's move to the next slide. Neuron structure and function. As you can see, this picture is a neuron. Okay, it is a neuron, and we can also see many parts of this neuron. These are the dendrites. We can also see the soma or cell body, and in the central of the cell body is the nucleus, and this long extension is called the axon. The axon coated by the myelin sheath. The myelin sheath made up of the swan cell, and myelin sheath helps speeding the transmission of the nerve impulse. And at the end of the axon is called nerve ending or axon terminal. The nerve ending produce neurotransmitter, the chemical that transmit nerve impulse to other neurons. Neurons vary in shape and size, but generally a neuron has three main parts. A neuron has three main parts. They made up of a cell body or a soma, dendrites, and axons. So generally, a neuron has only one axon, but many dendrites and a cell body. Okay. So let's move to the first part, dendrites. The dendrites. Dendrites are tiny and short branch-like structures that extend from cell body and function by receiving messages from other neurons or sense organ, and allows the transmission of messages to the cell body. Okay, the dendrites. So this tiny and short branch-like structure are called the dendrites, and their function is to receive the message from other neuron or from the sense organ, and input the information to this cell body. So the cell body is the core part of a neuron. It contains a nucleus, and the nucleus contains genetic information, and the nucleus control the activities of the cell. Right, so let's move to the second part. Yeah, the second part is the cell body. It is the nucleus containing central part of a neuron, inclusive of its axon and dendrite. So the cell body is the core part of the neuron, which contains cell nucleus and contains functional organelle such as mitochondria, Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum, and more. And the nucleus store genetic information and it control the cell function. So of the most of the cell metabolism take place in the cell body. The third part is axon. Axon is a long membrane-bound extension. Long membrane-bound extension which function by receiving and carrying nerve impulse from the cell body to another neuron. Okay, to another neuron, muscles or glands. So axon is a long extension. Yeah, it is a long extension from the cell body. Generally, neuron has only an axon, and the axon is the long extension from the cell body. It receives and conduct information from the cell body to another neurons, to muscles or glands. Alright, so basically a nerve cell has three main parts: dendrite, cell body, and axon. Dendrites receive and send information to the cell body. Cell body is the core component of the neuron, in which most of the cell metabolism takes place. And each neuron has a long axon which receives and conducts information to the end terminals. Okay, and okay, this is the pathway of the nerve impulse. The pathway of the nerve impulse. So the nerve impulse from dendrite to the cell body and then to axon, and it's conduct along the axon to the axon terminals. That is like this. This is the sense organ, for example the skin. So the receptive cell of the skin receive the message from the skin and then transmit along dendrites to the cell body. This is the cell body, and then the information is transmitted along the axon to the axon terminal and to this neuron. This is the another neuron, and it also the dendrite receive the information and input the information to the cell body, and then axon receive the information and send to the axon terminal and to another neuron. So that's all for my presentation, but before ending this presentation, I have a test for your understanding. You can scan this QR code to go to the Google form. So let's scan this and see the question. Okay, so now we get through the Google form, and don't forget to fill out your name. For example, my name, sorry, okay, and I am a male, right? And specialist biology. Okay, so start the first question. So let me, okay, zoom. The first question: what is a neuron? Nerve impulse that transmitted along nerve cell. No, it is not a neuron. Nerve impulse that transmitted along nerve cell. No, it is the structural and functional unit of all living organism. Maybe not. It is the structural and functional unit of a nerve system and function to transmit information throughout the body. Is it right? Slender extension from cell body and function by receiving messages from another neurons and allow the transmission of messages to the cell body. Okay, it is also not the correct answer. So this is the correct answer. A long extension of the neuron that carries impulse away the cell body to the neurons and muscle is labeled in weeks number in the below figure. So this is a mix of a neuron and many parts. The parts are labeled in the letter, not number, letters A through D. Which letter that is a long extension of a neuron and carries impulse away the cell body, away from the cell body to other neuron? Which one? Which letter? Okay, letter D, right? D is the correct answer. This one, axon and axon. What is the right pathway of nerve impulse along a typical neuron? The right pathway of nerve impulse is along a typical neurons from axon terminal to axon, no, not from dendrite to cell body to axon terminal. Okay, this one is the correct answer, right? Okay, from axon to cell body, no, not from the axon. It must start from the dendrite and then the cell body and then axon terminal. Okay, maybe the last question, right? Match its function to part of a neuron which perform that function. So these are parts of a neuron and these are the function, and then you have to match the function to its parts, to the right parts of a neuron. Dendrites, cell body, axon terminal, and myelin sheaths. So generally conduct impulse away from the cell body. Conduct impulse away from the cell body. Which part? Dendrite, cell body? No, not cell body. Axon terminal, and myelin sheaths. Yeah, it is the correct answer is axon. Location of the nucleus. Okay, it must be the cell body, right? Location of the nucleus, the cell body. Nucleus, mitochondria, Golgi abrata or Golgi body, nasal body, and other cell organelles. Right? The cell body is the correct answer. It is the function of the cell body. Release neurotransmitter. Okay, release neurotransmitter. Not the cell body, not the dendrite, not the axon. It is the axon terminal. Conduct electrical current toward the cell body. Conduct electrical current toward the cell body. So just imagine the neuron structure. So you will find out the answer. The answer is the dendrite, right? Dendrites conduct electrical currents toward the cell body. The last one, increase the speed of impulse transmission. Okay, it is the myelin sheath. Alright, so we finished the test now. Let's submit and see. Let's view the score. Alright, 25. Okay, good.
That's all for my presentation. Thank you for watching, and please apologize for my mistakes. Thank you and goodbye.